What's going on, guys? ASMR Prodigy back again with another video. And in today's video, we're doing another weekly fantasy review. If you guys like this content, make sure to subscribe and like the video. I do have to say, this is my second time recording this. I recorded this earlier, and I went to edit it, and there was no video file. So I might keep this a little bit more quick than my other one, just out of the fact that I already made it, and I don't really want to make it again. So, yeah, if we look up here, boys, we won last week. We won 143 to 115. We are now 2-3 on the year. And let's look out how our team did. Boom, here we go. Josh Allen, look at this. These top three guys right here had a great week, man. Accounting for almost 100 points themselves. This is like 70, 96, and some change, 97 we'll say. Very good game. Josh Allen had 4 TDs, 1 pick, and Eckler had 39 or 35 and 9.9. Jeez, oh Pete, I can't talk. Delvin had 26.1. Amon-Ra, he was hurt, nursing his ankle. This is on me. I really shouldn't have started him. I didn't know until like right at game time. I was watching I don't know what it was, NFL Network or whatever or something. They were talking about Amon-Ra, and they were like, oh yeah, he's only going to have like a 30 snap maximum on today's game. I was like, what the hell? Like, why wouldn't they let me know this before, you know? It didn't end up mattering though. Like I said, I won this week. Curtis Samuel had a good Curtis Samuel game. That's as much as I can ask for out of him, He's someone I picked up off waivers a couple weeks ago, and he has played great filling in as my wide receiver too, because I've had injuries and whatnot. Pat Freiermuth, 3.2, and I think he got hurt that game. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think Pat Freiermuth has permanently lost his spot out of my starting lineup. Zach Ertz has just played so much better, and Zach Ertz is another guy I picked up off the waiver wire, surprisingly. Melvin Gordon, I picked him up after Javonte Williams got hurt. He did essentially what he was projected. He probably will never see the light of day because I have to show you someone on my bench. Someone dropped David Montgomery. I know he was having a little issues with injuries, and he had a couple bad games, fantasy-wise, but man, they dropped him. I scooped him up. This guy is a bona fide RB1 for the majority of teams in the league. Majority of fantasy leagues, sorry. RB1, or borderline RB1, probably RB2 in more realistic fashion. But this guy's probably my permanent flex for the rest of the year. He had a great game. I didn't end up starting him. I didn't pick him up till after I had Melvin Gordon already starting. So back up to this team. Jags defense, I also picked them up. I dropped the Steelers defense because they have been so disappointing after week 1. And I think I'm going to roll with the Jacksonville defense until they prove me wrong or they have a bad week or whatever. Evan McPherson, whatever, yeah. Keenan Allen. I get very upset just even looking at Keenan Allen, knowing that this was the third guy I picked out of my entire picks of anyone in the league. I could have had damn near anyone in this league. And he's played 1 week of football. And I don't think he's going to play this week either. It doesn't look bright. And even if he does, he's going to be on like an Amon-Ra limited snap shit, I bet. James Conner, he's another guy that I picked high on, and I don't think he'll see my lineup. Ideally, my lineup goes these three, yes. Amon-Ra and Keenan Allen, Zach Ertz, David Montgomery, and then these two. But obviously you got bye weeks and stuff, so that's why you have people like James Conner, Brandon Cooks even. He hasn't been himself, but Michael Carter had a good game. I want to just give a little shout out to Michael Carter, 17.3. I don't really see ever a world where Michael Carter ends up in my starting lineup unless there's crazy injuries and bye weeks and whatever. And if I'm being honest, you guys will see later, Josh Reynolds isn't on my team. What I was thinking of doing was starting either Amon-Ra or Josh Reynolds, whichever one didn't play. But obviously, he had 15.2. I would have probably started him if I knew Amon-Ra was on a snap count. But, yeah. Like I said, when Cordero gets back, we'll probably end up dropping. It's either Michael Carter or whoever I am replacing Josh Reynolds with. Because I Cam Akers with 3 out of your flex. That is horrible. Packers defense horrible. And Nick Folk, my God. Third highest scoring person on his team was his kicker. His bench really didn't look very good either, outside of Ramondre Stevenson and Tony Pollard. So yeah, we snuck away with one there. This guy's team wasn't very good. But yeah, I've just been dealing with injuries. I guess is why my team looks bad right here. I'm not gonna lie to you, my team looks not very good for an 8-man league. But I've been dealing with this Keenan Allen injury. And obviously we got David Montgomery now. We are very lucky for that. So let's look at the projected lineup for this week that I'm going to run with. And here's what it looks like. I picked up Rondale Moore in place of Josh Reynolds, who was on a bye week. Probably would have kept Josh Reynolds in, but actually no, it would have been Amon-Ra because he's going to be better. Yeah, Pat Freiermuth was questionable now, and so was James Conner and Keenan Allen, so they're not in. So this is what we're going to rock with. This is what I set the lineup in as of Wednesday. So tomorrow, I'm going to be watching this game for David Montgomery to, feast and Curtis Samuel receptions. And Josh Allen's projected 26.1, Eckler 17.6, 16.3, 13.8 for Curtis Samuel, Rondale Moore 12.5, Zach Ertz 12.5, David Montgomery 16, Jags defense 7.2, Evan McPherson 7.1. They have Keenan Allen projected to play, but they also have had him like that the last 2-3 weeks. Same with James Conner. I don't think James Conner's going to end up playing this game. Michael Carter 9 points. Pat Freiermuth is probably not going to play, and Melvin Gordon I'm not going to start. So that's how we're phasing on next week. This is the lineup. I picked Rondale Moore up, like I said, in place of Josh Reynolds because he's on a bye week. Rondale Moore, especially for at least like a 1 or 2 week fringe for me. I think he's the wide receiver 2 or 1 in Arizona right now with D-Hop. I know they got Hollywood Brown, but Rondale Moore coming off an injury, he's only played 2 weeks so far. Looking to have a big game here against Seattle, and hopefully he can do that well in my lineup. Zach Ertz, man, this guy is, let's see, I can look at the stats, right? Actually, we're going to see how the stats of my guys did last week. But like I was talking about Zach Ertz before I get off track, this guy, look, he got 10 targets last week against the Eagles. 10 targets. Zach Ertz, my God, he's getting involved in that Arizona offense. You can't be more happy about that as a fantasy manager. Let's look at how my guys did last week, though. Josh Allen, 20 for 31, 424 yards, 4 TDs, an interception, 5 carries, 42 yards, 430, 5.16 points. That's crazy. That's crazy, dog, from Josh Allen. Austin Eckler, 16 carries. This is amazing. This is a beautiful sight for Austin Eckler. That's insane. Averaging 10.8 per carry on 16 carries and a touchdown. And mind you, he had 4 catches for 26 yards with a touchdown. That's beautiful. That's why we picked Austin Eckler at 7. Dalvin Cook, 18 carries, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 catches, 27 yards, and 2 targets. 26.1 points. It's great for Dalvin. That's great for Dalvin. Amon-Ra, 4 catches on 6 targets, 18 yards. I'm not going to take much into account there. He was on, snap count. Curtis Samuel, 6 catches on 8 targets, 62 yards. A great Curtis Samuel style game there. Pat Freiermuth, 2 catches on 2 targets with 12 yards, but he did get hurt, like I said, that game. And even if he didn't, he's probably never going to see the day that he's in my lineup unless Zach Ertz is on a bye week. Melvin Gordon at flex, 15 carries, 54 yards. Not good, but he had 3 catches for 49 yards. So that's where he got the majority of his points. What is this? 3, 5, that's 8. And then he had, 5 points here. So Keenan Allen didn't play. James Conner, 6 carries, 55 yards. He did have a catch for 8 yards, but he did get hurt in that game. Brandon Cooks, 4 catches, 20 yards on 6 targets. That's not at all what you'd like to see. Look at this, though. Michael Carter had 10 rushes for 21 yards, which is 2.1 per carry with 2 touchdowns, though. So if he doesn't have this touchdown, if he doesn't have those touchdowns, he is having a horrible game. He did have 2 receptions for 12 yards. Zach Ertz, 6 catches on 8 targets, or lost the game. Amon-Ra got hurt though. But man, look at this guy's fantasy points. That's great, man. He'll probably never be back on my team though when Amon-Ra comes back. Where did I leave off? Oh, Josh Reynolds. David Montgomery had 12 carries, 20 yards, and a touchdown. But man, he had 4 catches for 62 yards. Great game for David Montgomery. Cordero was hurt. Jacksonville defense, they had 1 sack. That's the only stat they got, but they only allowed 13 points and 248 yards, so they still managed to get 6 points. And that Jacksonville defense, man, they look good. They're young, and they're a good defense to have, and I'm so glad that I was able to pick them up while they were still on the free agent market. Evan McPherson, he had 1 kick and 2 extra points, which got him 6 points. So that's how my team fared last week. We pulled off the win, 143-115, and then this week, like I said, this was my lineup. You guys seen this? I talked about it already. These are the stats on the year. Josh Allen, 14 throwing, 14 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Austin Eckler, 3 touchdowns on the ground, 3 touchdowns in the air with 214 receiving yards and 31 receptions. Look at that. He's like, receptions are half of his carries. That's crazy for a halfback. Look at Dalvin Cook, 81 carries, only 11 receptions. They both have 3 rushing touchdowns as well, but Eckler edges him out in the receiving category. Curtis Samuel, honestly has good rushing stats for a wide receiver. 32 catches on 2 touchdowns, 281 yards. Does he have the most receptions on my team? Wow, he does. That's crazy. That's Curtis Samuel, you guys. 32. Rondale Moore, 10 for 79. He just got back from an injury. Zach Ertz, 28 catches, 41 targets, 2 touchdowns, 200 some yards. David Montgomery has 9 catches, 100 yards. That's crazy for him. He has 47 rushing attempts, 1 touchdown that he got in the last game, and 179 rushing yards. Keenan Allen, look at this. Keenan Allen only has 4 catches for 66 yards. He's played 1 game. Very sad and very annoying to me. 54 attempts, 200 yards, and a touchdown for James Conner. He's got 19 targets, though. But, I'm not going to probably ever start him again as long as these 2 guys do great up here. David Montgomery does okay there. Brandon Cooks, 24 catches on 42 targets, so he's getting the targets. He's just not making the catch. Davis Mills is not doing good this year. Amon-Ra, 2 rushes, 68 yards. That's great. 27 catches, 271 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Michael Carter, he's got 17 receptions. That's nice for him. 100 yards. He's got 47 yards attempts on the ground, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Pat Freiermuth, 20 catches on 32 targets, 235 yards, and a touchdown. Melvin Gordon, 52 attempts on the ground, 193 rushing yards, a touchdown, 11 receptions, 98 yards. And then Cordero Patterson, 58 on the ground, 340 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He was having such a good year before he got hurt. And then this is surprising. He's only got 4 catches on 28 yards. You'd think there would be more out of Cordero Patterson. He was more receiving back last year. I think this is through 3 games maybe. So 4 catches in 3 games is not good. Jags have had a defensive touchdown, which was against the Eagles. They've had 7 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, 10 sacks, and allowed 80 points. Cool. Evan McPherson missed a kick from the 39, missed a kick from the 40, has not missed from 50 plus, and he's missed an extra point. You can't be mad at Evan McPherson. He's that guy, pal. So yeah, I'm gonna call it there. Hopefully this recording actually saves. You guys will still be seeing this on Thursday night, even though I'll have to edit it and get it up on the same day, but whatever, you don't care about that. You only care about seeing the video. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you for watching.